What's going on, guys? Welcome back to today's video. Today we're going to be doing my top 5 most successful lures so far in the spring. I'm going to go from the least effective but still have caught baits on to what I've caught the most fish on. So let's just get right into it. So the first bait that we have here is the lizards. I've caught a few fish off of this lure, mainly at the beginning when the water was still warming up from out of the 40-degree weathers. I caught quite a few fish off these. Just flipping them around, structure and things like that, and working them real slow. And this finicky fish, we're actually going after them pretty well. The next bait that we have here is a spinnerbait. So far this year, the only thing that I've really got on a spinnerbait is that 6-pounder. That's about it. We've caught a couple of small fish, but it's nothing real consistent with a spinnerbait. I'm assuming because normally when I go out, it's nice and clear, bird blue skies. It really hasn't been my top bait of choice. Whenever we go out, the water's nice and warm. I'm sure it's in the mid 50s, 60s. The next one that we have, I actually haven't used for a while, is the swim jig. At the beginning of the season, at that pond that I keep a couple videos at, where I caught that 6-pounder, it was really catching a lot of fish at the beginning of the season. Just whatever, every day that we went out there and we threw this, we always seemed to catch something. So definitely a swim bait so far has been really successful for me. This is right in the middle of this is the third bait. So it's been a very good bait so far this year. Catching a lot of fish on it. Now that the water's starting to move up and the spring is, I've been using a chatterbait, which is our next bait, and I've used this in a couple of my videos. If you haven't seen them, go check them out. But a chatterbait, definitely, because it's a reaction style bait, and since the water's moving up, those fish are getting more aggressive, and this has just been really catching a lot of fish. I actually have been using black and blue, but unfortunately I lost that. Definitely a chatterbait, really successful so far in the spring. Caught a lot of fish on it. Very important that you guys have a different range of baits. A chatterbait, I use this really a lot for a search bait. I compare it a lot to a spinnerbait because of the reaction style, but for some reason the chatterbait's really just been working a lot better than the spinnerbait has. Even though any day of the week I will choose a spinnerbait over a chatterbait, definitely because it's more of an inline bait, as in the blade here is right in line with the whole bait, unlike a spinnerbait where this sticks up. And the skies, whenever like I said, I've been out, the skies have been clear, bird blue skies, and the fish can really see that very well though. That's not natural style bait. Where this looks more to them when it's flying by them, this looks a little bit more of a natural bait to them than what spinnerbait would. So definitely the chatterbait so far early spring has definitely been a lot more used than the spinnerbait. However, like I said, every day of the week I'll choose a spinnerbait than I will over a chatterbait, but it's just been working and I've been very successful with it. Let's go into the next bait. The next bait is a crankbait. Definitely not one of my favorite things to throw just because of the treble hooks. Last year I don't think I used a crankbait at all. Like I said, last year was my first year target fishing for bass and never really got into using a crankbait. So far this year, a square bill crankbait has just worked very successfully. I've caught probably 90% of my fish on a crankbait, and definitely the crawl style pattern. The crawl style pattern has worked very well. Every pond that I've been fished, that crush plate or whatever, the upper lip of the bass is always red. That just goes to show that they're eating up with crawdads. So a crawl style bait is definitely my go-to right now. A jig really hasn't been working very well. If you notice that it's not even on the top 5. A jig just hasn't been working for me at all. It's just moving baits, really. The only thing that's not a moving bait is the lizards, but those are for really finicky fish, and I use those in the early spring when that water was still in the 40 degrees. But now that it's moving up, I've been throwing this a lot against rocks and things like that, letting this bait just go and dig down and bounce off of rocks and things like that, and I've been getting a lot of reaction strikes off of it. I noticed last time that I went fishing, I didn't get this on film, but I was casting around docks and things like that, and I'd get up next to the pylons and it'd bounce off the pylons, and right when it hit a pylon, I got bit. So definitely, using the square bill has just been working very well, very successful. The reason I wanted to do this video was because on Instagram, I've been getting a lot of questions on what baits I've been using so far this spring, and I just urge you guys to try any of these 5 baits. Again, thank you guys for watching. If you guys could, please like and subscribe, and I'll check you guys next time.